For who, for what, was what Ricky Williams said. Ricky Waters said. And we're going to see if we can sneak it outside. This is what I said right here. And let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens, Mr. Holmes. Yes, why don't we? Alright, so you want to put some mustard on it. Not too much, though. Oh, okay. Well, I thought we had a chance at it. Kind of fumbled around at their feet for a little bit, but they couldn't fall. But we couldn't get to it. I'm not upset, though. I don't think that was a bad decision, because it almost worked, but it didn't. So, you know, in times like this, desperate times call for desperate measures. That's a cliche, but it's one I'm going to use right here. So, it really matters. And, alright, whatever his name is. Jackson makes the catch. Number 3, I'm going to repeat it for the 3rd time. Sports on vacation. I'm going to try to actually stay on that beat for a couple of minutes before I get distracted. I went to one sporting event on vacation and then another one before I started filming again. They were both baseball games. Jason Seymour was his 3rd pick of the game. Still stuck with only one. They were all baseball games, both of them. The one that I went to in Minnesota was a minor league wood bat league game. I mean, it was called the Northwoods League, but it's referred to as a wood bat league by college baseball players because, you know, we're trying to do how to play with and stupid. I hate the GameCube controller because I pressed the A button and I pressed the stupid Y button. I didn't make the tackle. That it didn't matter anyway. He would have, you know, not been in position. But ugh. Again, just being let down by myself and everything around me. This is why I need to play more Xbox games. I don't know why that correlation is there, because I hold the Xbox controller the same way and have the same issue. I just want to blame anything that isn't myself right now. So it was a Wood Bat League game. And of course, Wood Bat League is colloquial. I don't know if it's actually colloquial, but it's what, you know, college baseball players, basically prospects, who, you know, the college baseball season runs from about January to June or so, or May, where it ends in College World Series. Now, a lot of players, especially prospective players who could play at a higher level, like the major leagues, go and, in the summers, when there's no season, can play in these wood and bat leagues. And there's a big one is the Northwoods League in Canada. It's in central Canada, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, that kind of region. And I think, I don't know why they're all up there, but they are primarily in small towns. I think, you know, Alexandria is a town of like 10,000, probably actually fewer. Then we were playing somebody from St. Cloud. I don't know why I said we. I have no connection to the Alexandria Blue Acres team, except I go to probably one game every 2 years. And, you know, it was a fun game. Fun, you know, minor league games. It wasn't minor league, but I mean, small league games are always a lot of fun. Even if the level of play is not, I mean, it's not major league quality, obviously. But when, you know, there's parity, it's generally a good game. Always fun to watch. Baseball, I mean, it's not always fun to watch baseball. It was baseball. We stayed there for like probably 3.5 hours. It was a really long game because a lot of guys were getting hits. It was like 8-3 by like the 5th inning. It was like a free meat stick night at the ballpark. So they handed us like a free, locally produced. Basically, it was like a decent Slim Jim, like a higher quality Slim Jim, like a Jack Link's beef jerky, one of those little tubes they have. It was something like that. I don't know why I spent so much time describing that. It was a fun game, though. We left before the end of the game because we wanted to get to a Dairy Queen before it closed. And you got to see people playing baseball, so it was kind of interesting. Just a little bit better than I mean, having damn it, I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting I have to, like, I had just a wide open space, instant first down. I'm 1 for 8 today, And so many of those have been drop passes, Mike Vick. It's not even, for most of the time, it hasn't been the passer's fault. Is the infuriating thing about this, which is why I'm just running with Mike Vick right now. He won't get the first down. Okay. Just gonna rush it right up the middle, and Tiki's gonna get stopped at the line. I'll have to get the ball back. We got JoJo Vicious in at the fullback position, delivering the big block. I think Tiki may have gotten it. Confirmed. Tiki got it. All right, Tiki Barber on the board in terms of yards gained, which is better than Ron Dane could say. I don't really have time to run the ball here. I only got 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game until it's over. I'm just trying to run a hurry-up offense because that's all I have right now is the prospect of just scoring quick and getting points on the board. Throw it to Toomer, who is very far downfield, who cannot make the catch because Vic overthrew him. Just nothing going for the LA Life today. Just a bad game. One that we hopefully don't see in the playoffs against an actually good team. That was a bad throw, I'll admit that. It's 4-down territory, but who cares, you know? It's not even 4-down territory. It's like, it's like the third quarter. But there's no chance. We haven't been able to do anything on offense. We've had one complete pass. Oh my god, I mean, this is just abhorrent. The only first downs I think I've had this entire game were on run plays by Mike Vick. And that one by Tiki Barber right there. Which was effectively done because of the run play by Mike Vick. This has been absolutely terrible. I don't know who I'm disappointed in, myself or the computer for dropping so many passes. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, though. It's not like my defensive scheme has been any better or worse. I just haven't... Oh, God, this is disgusting. This is a terrible... This is a waste of the good name of Madden 2002. And the good name of the Alexandria Blue Anchors, who were the team that I saw in the baseball game I went to. Then I went to another game with a team you may have heard of, called the Kansas City Royals, playing another team you may have heard called the Toronto Blue Jays in Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. I got there at like 7:30. It was a 2-hour rain delay, and I hung out by, I believe, a Belfonte stand for 2 hours. And then the game started. We didn't stay for the whole thing. We stayed for about 7 innings, I think, because one of the people I had to come to the game with had to work. So we left at like midnight. And I don't know how it ended. We were up by like 3. It was like 3-0. Whoever was pitching, I forget who it was. Danny Duffy, I think. Whoever was pitching was doing a really good job. So he may well have held them off. And we have one of the best closers in the game, Andy Wade Davis. I say we, even though I know that's not entirely correct, because I don't really know or care that much about the Kansas City Royals. I honestly thought, before the season started, I thought, you know, I never really cared that much about baseball. I've never been a huge baseball fan. And the reason was because I assume the reason was because I never had a good team in my city. I never had a team to cheer for, really. And well, I did, but I never, you never cheer. If your team's bad, well, you're never going to be glad about it, You're not going to be going... You might... You still go to games, but you're not, like, excited about it, You're just like, okay, I'm going to go watch the Royals lose. We had, that's the type of thing. There was a kid I knew, April of, like, 2008, on, like, opening day, was watching the Royals game. We were at this hotel. It was for, like, a Science Olympiad thing or something. We were at this hotel, and it was like, the Royals game's on. And it was like, it's opening day, we're going to watch the Royals. And I was like, no. Why would we do that? It's opening day 2008. This team's going to be bad. It is bad, it's going to continue to be bad. And why would, people were like making fun of the kid for being interested in the Royals, the hometown team. I would have to imagine for a, you know, if you enjoyed baseball, I didn't really, I would have to imagine it sucked growing up there where I did. I had a great time growing up here where I did. But we were just all making fun of this kid because he, like, was interested. I don't know if I was participating in the making fun, but there was like a bad, it was like a really, you know, people were just joking about it. Just like, oh, you're watching the Royals, yeah, good luck. You know, you're really excited about another 100-loss season. And it was just like, you know, to a certain extent, like, what, are you excited about baseball? No, nobody was, and so that's why the kid got ridiculed for it, was because I'm running out the clock here, basically. I'm aware that I'm not going to get anywhere, so maybe if we score any points, it'll be nice. Of course, hopefully it's a touchdown, not a field goal, because the field goal will be the type of sarcastic field goal. It's like, yeah, no, we just didn't want to get shut out. That kind of field goal. Those are always the worst. Anyway, to continue on my point that I kind of got lost on, having a flashback to this situation in a hotel in 2008, now I worked, you know, I thought, well, if other people around me are interested, maybe I'll get interested, and you know, we have a team that we could all kind of rally behind. We can know all the players' names and all the little, you know, neat little idiosyncrasies. We got that weird guy who holds the bats the weird way, and we got the dude with the name, with the Greek guy. We got the kid from South, you know, whatever his name is, Giordano Ventura. We have the writing on his hat. We have all those guys. We're gonna be, you know, a good team this year. We went to the World Series last year. Now this is when you can really get into baseball. I can let myself actually watch and, you know, pay attention to every game and go to so many games and be really interested in this new winning home team we have. And I went to 2 games this year so far, and I gotta say, I still don't really care. In fact, I still found it, you know, I would have found it weird 3 years ago if I was at work and somebody was obsessively checking their phone, like, oh, damn. You know, it wouldn't have been Lorenzo Cain, it would have been like Matt Stairs. Oh, Matt Stairs grounded out. Ah, well, that sucks. We're going to lose to the Cubs now. And it was just like, well, you know, I'm not that interested. And now it was like normal. It was, a guy I worked with was obsessively checking his phone. Oh, come on, Perez. Well, can't strike out. Yeah, alright. Now we're down 3-0 to the Red Sox. And he was like upset about it. I don't understand getting upset about this one game. You know, 160, however many games they play, 162. I don't remember what that is. I can understand getting upset about a key game maybe in an NBA season. You know, a sport where they play 82 games a season. Even that's a little awkward. If it's a game against a really good team that, like, oh, this might be a preview of the championship series, you know, that's something different. It was like in April, we had our first real controversy probably since the Pine Tar game, or at least since the 94 strike. Because if you look at the records, before 2013, there was a winning season in 2003, and the last time the Royals ended the season in playoff contention was in 1994, which was a year that they did not play a playoffs or a World Series. None of that. And they introduced, God, 95 was probably what killed baseball, because he was like, no, we're going to introduce interleague play, which is going to make the game significantly, like, it'll make it interesting for a couple of years, and then people are just going to get bored with it, and then it'll be like every other league, and there's no reason to watch the playoffs now, because, you know, it's not like you're, you know, at least it's not like there's no reason to watch the World Series, but, you know, you don't have that league tie. You're gonna get, like, baseball got that insurgence of new fans in the, you know, the analytics statistics era. I don't even care about timeouts and stuff because I know I'm not gonna get the ball back. You know, if I do, what am I gonna do? Score 2 more touchdowns? I'm still down by 10. They're going for a field goal. What's your deal, Jim Harbaugh or Pete Carroll? It was Pete Carroll who said that. He was not the coach of the Seattle Seahawks at that time. Is this an Erickson team with a octave shift in voice? I don't know who it was. Oh no, God, I'm an idiot. I'm not an idiot. I'm a smart man. But it was Mike Holmgren. It was a Mike Holmgren Seattle Seahawks team. Really the best era in Seattle Seahawks history. Those couple of years. It was actually a fine era. It was my joke. They just didn't win any championships, even though they should have. Inspect the NFL. Steelers didn't win that. I had two more topics, and I guess one of them is the MLB All-Star Game, which basically to say, like, my friend's there. So if you see my friend, say hi. His name's Mike. He'll be wearing Cincinnati Reds apparel, probably either that or Kansas City Royals apparel. Just never run a screen in this game. That's a mistake that I made. And my fifth one is the NFL Top 100. You see, J.J. Watt got voted by players as the best player in the NFL, which I didn't think would happen. I didn't think they'd let a defensive player who, while he was in the MVP discussion, wasn't really the guy. I mean, he was the best player on that team and put them into playoff contention, not single-handedly, obviously. That would be a mistake to say, because, I mean, his quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick, was playing really well. Are you telling me that's not... I gotta challenge that. I can't challenge it. Why'd they have it there if I can't challenge it? Why'd they put that in the game? Why were they like, yeah, that's you can't challenge it, though. That's like a thing. That's absolutely a thing you can challenge. A catch, whether or not it was in bounds or not. And it just, I can't. I mean, I guess if they didn't give me the ability to challenge, I know he was out of bounds. Because they wouldn't miss that call and then tell me they got it right. Because that's not how video games work. Because it's, it's effectively being upset at a robot for doing something wrong. It's like being angry at a blender. Is what I just was there for a second for a game. It's like being angry at a blender for doing something. Okay, hold on. I'm going to try to hash this metaphor out. Me being upset that Madden 2002 wouldn't let me challenge a call that I thought it had wrong, but obviously had right because it's a video game. And couldn't get it wrong because it's the rules of its own video game. Would be like me getting mad at a blender because it would not change my sock full of quarters into the correct amount of dollar bills. Because that's not what it does. And it was doing its job fine, now it's got a broken blender because I put some quarters in there. I know that from personal experience. J.J. Watt was the best player in the NFL last year. Outside of Aaron Rodgers, maybe. And Marshawn Lynch. And Justin Houston, who wasn't nearly high enough on this list. He should have been top 10. He got like 21.5 sacks. You know what no, he got like 22 sacks, I think. You know what he got 0.5 sacks fewer than the record. I was at that game, he had 3 sacks. Broke Derek Thompson's record. Mike's recording, right? Yes, it is. Alright, that's the end of the game. We lose 31-7. Not putting us in a great position for next week's battle in Philadelphia against the Eagles, but putting us in a position to still continue playing Madden 2002. And if enough teams lose, I may clinch a playoff spot. Or I may lose a playoff spot, interestingly enough. Let's check those statistics. Here are the standings. You go to the NFC East, and we have not clinched playoff berth. Washington took it. Alright, so let's look at the NFC here. We're currently placed 4th. But if we lose next week, and enough other teams win... Oh my god! There are 11 teams in playoff contention right now. What a miracle of science. There are 11 teams in playoff contention right now. And, this is still a point differential league. I think this is before the tiebreaker rule. Because in the season, I think 2 seasons before this, 1999, Green Bay and Carolina both came in to their last games, same record, and but Green Bay had scored more points, I think, than Carolina had. And the two games were playing at the same time. You can look this up. It's on an old... Somebody archived a bunch of old NFL Countdown video. Not NFL Countdown, sorry. Whatever the... NFL Primetime, sorry. The show that would go up on Sunday nights on ESPN. They... before Sunday Night Football, if anybody remembers that, on ESPN. That was great. That was a great era. I missed Monday Night Football on ABC. Anyway, Carolina and Green Bay came into the last week of the season. Same record... Both 6th place, effectively they would have been tied for 6th place in the NFC. In 2015, they would have, there would have been a tiebreaker, and no matter what happened, it would have been the Pack who got in and the Panthers who wouldn't, because one beat the right number of teams, teams that the other one didn't beat, or something like that, or if they had played each other, one of them would have won. But Green Bay came in needing to have scored more points than Carolina did, because that's how they used to do it. A tie was won out by whoever had the most points for them, which may actually be why this is here. Which is why I believe... oh, wait, they won their division. Or they haven't clinched their division, but they're effectively #1 in their division. That's why they're number 3. That's why I'm ahead of the Lions right here, is because I have 225 points for, and... no, that's wrong. They have way more points than I do. Like, a significantly higher number of points. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, so this might not be a point differential league. Anyway, I want to tell you about one of my favorite stories, which is when the Packers were playing the Bucks and Carolina, I forget who they were playing. Packers just kept scoring on Tampa because they had to keep Carolina, who was destroying, I think it was New Orleans, and it was Jake Delhomme's New Orleans Saints. They were just destroying them because they were trying to get into... back into playoff contention, and they were showing the Carolina game on the Green Bay scoreboard at certain points. Carolina just scored, we got to score another touchdown to keep ourselves within reaching distance of them, and it was just great. Green Bay ended up making the playoffs. I wish I was alive for that, because that would have been sitting in a bar. I mean, I was alive for that. I was 4 years old though, so the first 3 words that I said in that sentence didn't make sense. If I were in a bar watching that game, both of them on at the same time, that would be my ideal situation. Or NFL Red Zone, something like that. Anyway, that brought a little bit of happiness to me after a giant, destructive defeat. I'm gonna save my game here, picking the interesting file name of Noob. And we're done with that. You didn't need to see that. That is the end of Madden 2002 franchise in Los Angeles. We are 10-5, heading into the last week of the season. No, we're not. We are 9-6, headed to the last week of the season. It is a must-win game, effectively. If we lose, we are very possibly out of the playoffs, but also very possibly not out of the playoffs. Who knows? I'm just going to try to win next week. That snaps, I believe, a 3-game win streak. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow on